everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to kind of change directions and do a video using 3 Amagic flat brushes. I have a number 14, a 4, and a 2. All these will be listed down below my affiliate links. You're welcome to purchase through. I'm using a fine liner by Westonia, and then I'm using FolkArt paints. I'm using what I was getting ready to say. I was going to kind of switch directions and do a Christmas design. I'm using Glam Gold that has some glitter in it, Engine Red, Apple Red, Wicker White, and Yellow Ochre. Alright, so what I'm going to do today is just do a quick little video about painting a Christmas bulb design. It's not going to be like a whole design, it's just going to be a Christmas bulb. Alright, so I'm going to stick my number 14 into my Engine Red. Just get it good and coated. Now, if you're someone who needs something to be perfect, find something circle-wise and use that as a guide. I'm just going to basically create somewhat of a circle on my bottle, just freehand. And it doesn't have to be perfectly round, but you get the gist here. Just kind of paint it in the best you can. Now I would recommend with this one either giving it some dry time or some heat gun, hair dryer, something to speed up the drying process, because you are going to paint over this and you want it to give you the best coverage you can get and not mess up and pull up the paint also. So I'm going to take a moment and hit it with a heat gun. Alright, so I actually dried it, gave it another coat of paint just to make it more opaque. And now I'm going to take my number 4 flat brush, put it into my yellow ochre, get it good and coated. If I need anything as far as for coverage purposes, if it's too thin, I can actually add another color to it. So what I'm going to do here is just very lightly, because I don't want to take the chance of pulling up the paint, and I'm just going to go across it with a stripe and pull up here. Okay, I want it to be a little bit thicker, and go down below it or above it, however I want to do it. The main thing is just to make sure that it's pretty even, as much as possible. Like I said, I'm doing it by hand without doing specific drawings and whatnot, so it's as close as I can get it. Not a big deal. If you want it a little bit lower, just go back over it and do this and just pull it over. Just take your time. Alright, just take your time. So then the next thing I'm going to do, still using the same color, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do just a basic, come up here. Now this one, I might want to put a little bit of white into it just to get better coverage. That's the only problem. Like I said, when you're working with glass, sometimes the coverage is not exactly what you want it to be, so you just have to maybe tap on it a little bit and spread it as you go, kind of like that. Add a little bit of more weight to it, and then just come down here just to finish it off like that, or you can come up a little higher, up to you. Okay. There we go. All right. Next thing we're going to do is take the fine liner brush. I'm going to stick it into my hunter green. Just stick it in, pull it out, stick it in, pull it out, stick it in, pull it out. Just a single color. The next thing I'm going to do is just come down here and start pulling. Now, I know this might be a little hard to see, so I'm just going to pull it through here right now, just so that I can get it onto the ornament a little bit. If you want to add white to it, you can. At this point, I'm not going to, because that would, and if I had like another shade of green, being on a green bottle, it's not standing out so much. But that's okay. This is just a demo on what you can do. I could have added like a lighter green in here too. But I'm just going to do it just like I'm doing it. And I'm just going to come out. You can do this with a flat brush too. You don't have to have a liner brush. If you don't have a liner brush, it's perfectly okay. But I'm just pulling away from the center here and not towards it, just pulling it away. Because the other part that I'm going to be adding is going to have white in it. That's why I didn't want to add white to this. Again, I could have put a different green in here with it to make it stand out a little bit more, but hopefully you can see it. Alright, so we have that one going on. Then I'm going to take the smaller flat brush and I'm going to put it in the hunter green and the wicker white. Just do some quick blending. You know me, I'm not a big blender. Just do it as I see it. Alright, so then I'm going to do movements where I just pull it towards. I have to be careful on the painted part because I don't want to pull the paint up. So I have to be careful when I'm doing this because I don't want to pull the red up. Even though I've dried it some, it's not completely dry. It's just surface dry. Oops, sorry. Hit that. But you can turn your brush around. That will determine which color is predominant. But on this one, instead of pulling away, you're pulling towards. And that just creates, plus you're using a different brush, that just creates a different look. Alright, so you get it good and covered. And then you can turn it around if you feel like you need to add a little more green to it, a little more white. Yeah, that's up to you. Okay, but we're going over the part that we just painted. That's why I wasn't too concerned about it, and I didn't want to put white in with it because I was putting white up here. Alright, so we're going to come over here and do the same thing. We're basically just pulling towards. And just take your time. Like I said, you're going fast here, but just take your time and relax. Enjoy this. But I thought I would start just with simple holiday designs that you could start painting and maybe start working on some handmade Christmas gifts, which I think are nice. I mean, I love them. I love doing them. Alright, so we have that going on. Have the undertone or the undercover. Now, I couldn't find my lids. I like my bottle tops to be able to do this next point. So all I'm going to do is brush off my little fine liner the best I can, and I'm going to go into my gold with the sparkles. And then I'm just going to create lines here. Again, if I'd had the lid, these would be thicker and the outlining would show more, but this, this will have to do. Anyhow, you're just going to come over it with the gold and just outline it as you go. And I'm going to come here and outline it. It's going to really be outlined around the whole thing. I'm not going to mess with where the greenery is. And then I'm just going to pull down here, pull down, just make some design on here. You can make it thicker, you know, add to it when it dries. Then I'm going to come up here and create a loop. Just create a little loop. Again, just add to it. When it dries, it'll be a little more shimmery looking. Okay, so you have that. Then you're going to come here to this, and I'm just going to put, I'm not going to use a dotting stylus, but you could. Just making really faint little dots across here. You can do it across the bottom too if you want. Again, they're just real faint, but they're shimmery. It's kind of hard to see. Sorry about that. Then I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to do kind of a squiggly that goes along it. Hopefully I can see it. I mean, you can do more of a definite up and down movement across it. Sorry that it's hard to see. Once it's dry, that would be more obvious. Or you could use a lighter yellow. But just very whimsical across this design. Then I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to go into the, what did I call this one? I know one is engine red. This is the apple red. I have lipstick red too. And you might want to find maybe another color that's a little more contrasting, but I'm just doing little squigglies on here just to give it some texture. It's not a set design, so it's not like I'm doing swirls or anything like that. I'm just doing just general little, moving my paintbrush around on it to give it some texture. Again, with the lids that I use, it would be thicker, more prevalent, but quick and easy. And there you have it. Pretty darn easy, right? So there you go. First Christmas design for the holiday. Hope you liked it. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And prior to leaving, if you would take a moment to share this video on your social network with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Till the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.